Last week I bought this mushroom kit, set it up and have been attempting to grow mushrooms. I think it was 6 days, either today or yesterday, I can't quite remember, but let's have a look at how they're doing. So you'll remember that last week, once I'd added the mycelium, covered it with the peat, I then had to cover it with this plastic bag. Well, let's remove it and have a look at what's going on. Excuse me. Well, nothing much. However, I think it is working. I've got the instructions here. Let me read them out to you. It says, cover the peat with the plastic bag from the mushroom compost. This helps the mycelium grow into the peat and create a fluffy appearance on the surface. That looks fluffy there, right there. And all around here, I can see bits of fluff. I'll zoom in. Let me zoom in for a second. Is that any better? Anyhow, this will take 6+ days. Ideally, the kit should be in a draft-free environment, dark, and at about 20 to 24 degrees centigrade. That's been my main problem. I haven't been able to keep that temperature in the house 24/7 because obviously the central heating goes off when I go to bed, and if I'm out the house, well, I don't have the central heating on. So it hasn't been that temperature all the time. Anyhow, it goes on to say, when the mycelium is seen to be growing on the surface and around the peat, remove the plastic bag, which I've just done, and expose to the air. Ideally, you need a slightly cooler environment, 17 degrees to 20 degrees, to encourage pinning, I think that is, P-I-N-N-I-N-G, pinning or pining. Anyhow, when small mushrooms are established, it is okay to dribble a cup full of water over the peat. The peat should not be left out to dry at any time. Anyhow, let's just zoom out a little bit. That's the state of play. I do think that it is working because I can see that that fluffy appearance on the surface of all this mycelium here, especially that large clump there. That's just going to be one large button mushroom, I reckon. Anyhow, I think, yeah, like I said, I think everything is going according to plan. I'll now keep this plastic bag off it, and I will just store it in my spare bedroom like I've been doing, and allow, hopefully, that to form into white button mushrooms. Now then, changing the topic completely. Today I went out and I bought myself a book, a gardening book, but not your average gardening book. How do worms work? A gardener's collection of curious questions and astonishing answers. This is my cup of tea. I'll just read you a couple of sentences from the back cover. RHS How Do Worms Work provides expert answers to questions that every gardener wants to ask, and a few that you never even dreamt of. Now that's the key there. Some of the questions that are asked in this book and some of the answers that are given are amazing, and I've kind of sectioned out a few here, and I certainly want to read one to you, and I'll give you an example of some of the other questions that are asked within this book. And what I might do, maybe not every week, but every now and then, I might drag a question from this book and read it to you and give you the answer, like I'm going to do now. Okay, so I'm going to read a section here. Why do some people talk to plants? I think some of us have done that during our time. I know I certainly have. Right, here we go. Depending on your preferred media source, people who talk to plants are either deranged or visionary. Less clear is whether or not the plants enjoyed the conversation. Plant whisperer stories in the media are common, but do not usually have any hard scientific study to back them up. Okay, so here we go. The principle behind the idea that talking to plants is good for them is that the person talking is breathing out carbon dioxide, which benefits the plant. This does not bear up under examination. The CO2 in human breath dissipates very quickly, too fast for the plant to enjoy any benefit. I'll carry on and try and get through this as quickly as possible. On the same level are the claims that different types of music have a beneficial effect on plants, but without supporting evidence. However, it would be unwise to dismiss chatting to your plants out of hand. Artificially raising CO2 levels in a greenhouse on a sunny day has been shown to give a substantial boost to plant growth. It would, though, take a seriously prolonged monologue in a very well-lit, sheltered spot to raise CO2 to the level at which it might have a significant effect. And is it good for you to talk to your plants? Well, this is less controversial. There are numerous studies showing that growing plants and caring for them is psychologically beneficial, reducing stress and countering depression. And then finally, it goes on to say, if talking to plants does not seem to be getting you results, try touching them gently instead. You will be mimicking the effects of light wind, and plants respond to breezes by growing sturdier with thicker stems and denser foliage. So, you know, there's a grain of truth in there maybe. I don't know. I found it interesting anyhow, and I'll just, I picked two more. I'll try not to go through all of this. This one is, which is the tastiest soil? What does soil taste of? And how would you know? Surprisingly, some farmers opt to taste their soil to help them tell how fertile and healthy it is. Fertile soil is reputed to have a sweet taste that is a good match with the smell of healthy, freshly turned earth. Acid soil is said to taste sharp, like lemon juice, and an experienced soil taster can read the acidity and take the hint to raise the lime levels and thus the pH of their garden. It goes on to say here, tasting soil is believed to be a traditional practice that originated in Eastern Europe. Practitioners swear that it gives them valuable information about the state of their soil. Soil-borne pathogens can endanger your health though, so this is not one to try yourself. And finally, just to follow up soil tasting, is pee good for plants? Well, I bet you if you were a soil taster, you wouldn't think so. I'll just read you this first paragraph and let you know. Many organic gardeners who like to see sustainability through to its logical conclusion water their gardens with dilutions of their own pee and report good results. Apparently no telltale flavours remain in the produce. But is pee really good for plants? And it goes on to say whether it is or isn't. Anyhow, I don't know. This is my kind of book. So in the coming weeks I may read you a few more of these curious questions and astonishing answers. Anyhow, that's it for this particular episode. Cat's just jumped up here, so I'm giving him a stroke. You want to say hello? Come on. No? Not interested. Anyway, thank you for joining me. If you have, remember to hit that like button, share, subscribe, but please, most importantly, do comment down below. And until the next video, bye for now.